What is up, man? Dude, I don't know, man. I've been on these live things, man, and these people start out and I didn't have my good thing I didn't say too much, man, because I didn't have my mic muted. But they run the countdown thingy, man, and it's like 12 minutes. It's like, bro, I don't want to sit here for 12 minutes waiting. I'd rather just y'all could trickle in. It's okay. It's fun. But whatever. Hey, welcome in everybody. My name is Donnie Baker. Oh, you know what? I made this cool little graphic for you. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Donnie Baker. I'm with LPR Sound Foundations. I'm also the owner of ES Audio Recording Studios in Los Angeles, California. Y'all know last week, I don't know if y'all were following me live over the weekend, but I kind of got into this thing, man, with Studio B. Y'all that know me and y'all that come hang out over here, you know that Studio B is one. That's my favorite room, man. I really like it. So I got into this thing where I was like, you know what? I want to do a thing, and it turned it. I just wanted to move literally four things on the patch bay. I wanted to move one and add three more. I'll explain in a sec. I'll explain in a little more detail later. But it turned into this thing where I just wanted to add three things to the patch bay. And then I was like, you know what? I don't really need all this other stuff. I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, you know what else? I could do this thing, man, where I could move this over here, and it'd be easier if I could get to it on this side rather than on this side. So I'm gonna move that one. So I got up under there and I started like looking at the wires and so I tried to move the thing around that I wanted to move, and then it got into this whole thing where it's like, you know what? It'll just be easier just to unplug everything and start completely over. And while I'm here, let me pull the desk out and vacuum and clean up. And then there were some lights behind the desk that half the light strip thing had gone out because they're old. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll get some new lights and I'll replace the lights. It turned into this whole thing, man, and it took 3 days, dude. It was crazy. It was only supposed to take me, an afternoon or something. But I blocked off the days. Once I started getting into it, I blocked off the days so nobody could book the studio. But anyway, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to kind of explain what I did. I've got my Patch Bay map here. I was going to do this on the podcast for Monday, but now I'm moving some stuff around. So last week on the live, or last week's podcast, this week's podcast, Monday this week, I talked about the 7 different, I added so I gave you some different income streams that you could look at for your business, for your audio business, for your studio, that kind of thing. So I added that. I did that. Now, I was going to do this, explaining what I did with the patch bays next week. And then the following week, we're going to go into something else that kind of followed along with the 7 income streams. So I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing the patch bay thing today. So that's what we're talking about. I know we do the lives. I know Thursday mornings kind of we don't get a lot of people looking in live, but we will. These things will get bigger and better as I do them, as I get better at doing them. This is live. You know what I mean? I make mistakes. I screw up. I say stupid words sometimes that people get mad at. You know who you are. But no, I wanted to explain what my thought process was on the patch bays. And in case you guys don't know what a patch bay is, or if you even need one in your studio, here's the general rule with that, man. And I think we talked about this last week. But if you are in a place where you find yourself moving, even if you have an Apollo Twin or a Focusrite 2i2, if you find yourself unplugging things to plug in other things, you can use a patch bay. You don't need one. You can keep just turning the thing around, but that's fine. But if you find yourself unplugging one thing to plug in another thing, yeah, you probably need a patch bay. And then when you get more inputs and you get more outputs and you want to do more stuff, maybe you got some outboard gear you want to add into your thing, you want to be able to get to it, without having to move some, pull your rack around and crawl up underneath your desk. Yeah, you need a patch bay. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. Is anybody here? I mean, I've kind of been rambling, just waiting for people to show up. But yeah, let me know in the comments if if you're showing up. And also, I wanted to share with you this whole thing. I mean, the whole idea started. I found. I think I talked to y'all about this. I found the traceaudio.com. They make labels for your patch bay. This is the patch bay that we're going to be talking about today. This is this is the one I took out. I didn't need it anymore. This is a Ultra Patch by Behringer, the model PX3000, and they make a label that see y'all could see the labels I got on there now. I made them with sticky tape paper and I peeled them off. But dude, these guys make this label that just covers. Here, I got a picture of it for you. This is what it looks like now. I was able to take out one of the patch bays. Now I only needed 3, so I was able to get more room in there. And dude, the labels just look great. I mean, the color codes, the names, the labels, everything on there is it just looks so much more professional, and I think that's a big thing if you've got people coming into your studio, even if it's just you in there and you want it to look great, man. I mean, Trace Audio, those things are like $24. You design it yourself with your own colors, your own labels, your own everything, and they're only $24. The shipping was, I think they're based in Nashville. Yes, they're based in Nashville. I've got the card right here. The shipping was 3-4 days, so I got it in time to do the live thing. I was live, man. I was live for two full days. The first day I think was 8.5 hours. The second day was 6.5 hours, and then on the third day I was kind of done. So I just did a 20-minute thing showing you around with after I pushed everything back, got everything buttoned up, and all the cables nicely tucked up. The one thing, man, I had a client. We're doing an album project with this guy, and he's been coming in. They're using Studio B, and they've been coming in, and man, he came in on Monday. He was here on Monday, and the first thing he said, he came in and he said, the artist, not the engineer, the artist came in and he sat down on the couch in the back of the room. He said, "Hey, the cables look nice." Because he could see them under the desk, and he said, "Man, the cables look great. Job well done." You know what I'm saying? There you go. That's what I want. I mean, I didn't expect that from him. He's an artist, man. He's not supposed to know what the cables are and why they're there. Anyway, let's move on. What I got my patch bay map here, and I want to share with you why I did what I did, kind of, why I did the fully normals and the half normals and the opens and the throughs, they call them, or you can call them non-normals. All right. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I would want them half normaled, and why I would want them fully normaled, and why I would want them non-normaled. Okay. So let's move on over to the map. Shall we? Let's move on over to the patch bay map. So here is the patch bay map. I could throw myself up in here because I got my little picture. So, but I'm gonna be looking at the screen over here and maybe not looking at y'all, but just know I'm being attentive, okay? So I can move around. So I've got 3 patch bays in there now. There's patch bay number 1, here's patch bay number 2, and here's patch bay number 3. All right. So real quickly, I'm not gonna take up a whole bunch of your time with this, but oh, hey, I kind of knew he was gonna show up because you know what? Let me come back over here. I kind of knew he was gonna show up because he called me out yesterday. I sent the email out yesterday, and apparently Leo Solo, he saw he must have clicked the link or something because the link said 11 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. and man, it otherwise I'd have been there like tonight instead of today. So anyway, back to this thing. Thank you so much, Leo. You called me out on that one, man. You had to double check me. At least somebody's double checking me. I got somebody out there who kind of likes me, I guess. All right. So as you can see up here at the top, is my mouse? I guess my mouse ain't showing up. But over here at the top left, you see the mic lines. They're orange. Let me see if I can click on that. Oh, there's my mouse. Now I'm showing it to you. So you got the orange mic line ends. We had, for some reason, we had 16 inputs coming from that little room, from the studio, and I don't need that. I don't need 16. So I went with 8, and then 2 extra that go to the console just in case I want to use the console preamps while I'm using the other preamps. So basically, I could do drums in there. That's why I did the extra 2. So, and I had the space on the patch base, so there was that too. um, so here's what the whole reason that I wanted to move things around. I've got this SSL 500 box with the 611 modules in it, the EQs, the dynamics, and then the VHD pre's. I wanted to be able to get to the EQs separately as well as the dynamic section separately. Before we had it wired where you plugged a mic in to the room labeled SSL, and it went through the whole channel. And whether you used the EQ or the dynamics, you could engage it on the box. But I wanted to be able to get to, what if I want to add a bass line that we've already got recorded, but I want to run it through the SSL dynamic section? I couldn't before because I didn't have it separated out on my patch bay. Okay, so that's what this is. The whole idea started where I wanted to separate those things out, and so now I can. All right. Those are non-normaled. As you can see, the mic lines are fully normaled, which means I don't have to patch anything. I plug a microphone into channel 1 in the studio. It comes up on my Apollo number 1 in the room, in the control room. Now, with it being fully normaled, what this means is that if I patch in the top, meaning I'm going to take mic line number 1 and run it into the input of my VHD SSL, it breaks that normal to the Apollo. Or let's say I want to take mic line number 9 and run it into Apollo number 1. It breaks the normal. Fully normaled means that if you jack in the top or the bottom, it breaks the normal. As opposed to half normaled, where if you jack in the top, it does not break the normal. If you jack in the bottom, it does break the normal. We'll get to that in one sec. There's a reason why we do that as well. All right. So the SSL, all the SSL stuff is non-normaled. All the green colored down here, these are all my my compressors, if you will, the outboard compressors. And I have an SPX 90 for a reverb. These are all non-normal. The reason for that is you don't need that. You're only going to use the input or the output. You don't need it connected all the time. So group inserts. This patch bay that I took out. Now, to get the switches, let me come back to this full screen. Maybe y'all can see this. The switches for the non-normal and fully normal are here for each channel. Okay, for each, there's 24 channels on this. There's 24 channels on this one. To get to each one, you just flip the switch. Now the switches are normal, through, or half normal. Through meaning that it's just not non-normal. Non-normal is another name for it. Okay, but that's what that means. All right, so the group inserts. Now this one patch bay was all inserts. It was all channel inserts. I never ever used the channel inserts. Maybe once in the last 10 years. Okay, so but if I do need to use a insert, say on a kick drum channel, say I'm mixing on the console and I want to insert a compressor channel on, I want to insert a compressor onto the kick drum channel, which maybe is number 1. Okay, I can route channel number 1 to group number 1, and I can insert on the group. Problem solved. So there's 8 groups on that console. The GS3000 has 8 groups, or 4 stereo groups, what have you. All right, so down here, I've got these are half normaled. So the output of my computer, which I just take the headphone jack of my Mac Mini out, and it's half normaled straight into my stereo return channel number 1. Why half normal, do you ask? Oh, that's a good question. Because if I jack in the top to send the computer signal somewhere else, it's still working at stereo 1. But let's say I want to return the output of the SPX 90, my reverb, to stereo 1 return. When I jack in the bottom, it breaks that normal. That's why we use half normal. Auxiliary 1 through 6 goes straight to the stereo returns 1 through 4, okay, or 2 through 4. All right, aux 1 and 2 return to stereo to left and right, half normaled. That way, if I jack in the top, I still have the return. If I jack in the bottom, it breaks the normal. We also have I don't know if you guys remember CDs. Y'all remember? I should have maybe had a visual to show you. We have a CD burner. We have an HD CD burner. It burns 96K CDs, which is dope. It's Glassmasters. We could talk about that in another show one day. But we have this high def CD recorder and player. Some people still bring us CDs. They want to strip the song off of a CD or so. So we would just bring it out when we needed it. But now I've got it on the patch bay. I put it in the rack because it looks way better. I moved some stuff in the rack down below that I don't need to look at. There's a power amp that I'd never even need to look at. Why am I looking at a power amp? I don't know. So I put the ML9600 there. This console has this section right here. This console has a tube. It has 2 tube channels, and you can route either a mic, a line, or a guitar to it, and then take the out and bring it into another channel or a DAW, whatever. So it just allows you to send your signal through a tube, and you can drive it. All right, so we do have a 1/4-inch feed going through from the control room to the live room. So say the guitar player is going to sit in the room with us. This 1/4-inch feed goes through to his amp, which is in the room. Headphone mixer. This is another thing that I added to the mix. We had an old Furman 4-channel personal headphone mixer that we put in the room. We used to use a Behringer console in there, a little 10-channel mixer, and it would sometimes confuse some of the artists would get confused on this because there's a lot of buttons and knobs and faders, and they would get confused. Now the Furman has 1 knob, volume, go. Okay, so I put that in. And this is also half normal. I take the headphone mix out. We have a headphone mix on the console that we route. It's actually, it actually routes either the control room or the auxiliaries to the headphone mix. But that's half normaled into the headphone mixer. And then we can also there's also 4 channels on that personal mixer that we could maybe send a me feed to the artist if they need to. Those are half normaled as well, okay? I always want them on unless I jack in. I jack in another source, okay? So 2-track, the console's got 3 different inputs on it for 2 tracks. Basically, you could be able to dub 2-track from one 2-track to another 2-track back in the day. What I'm using these for is auxiliary inputs, okay? If somebody brings an aux, say somebody asks for an aux cable, we can plug them in there. And those are half normaled so that we can just break the normal when we use it for something different. The Apollo outs. Now, this is something else that I did not have on my previous patch bay for the last 10 years, was a way to get to the output of the Apollos separately. I always had to run it. We could do it, but I had to run it through an insert of the channel. You know, like the Apollo 1 was going to channel 1 on the console, and then I would use the insert send. It's not the perfect circuit. It worked, but it wasn't like a clean circuit because you were running through the actual console and running through the send and return of each channel, which was maybe not ideal. So now I've got 8 outputs from my Apollo, which actually is only 6. Because the Apollo 1 and 2 is strictly for monitor. Mix inserts, I can insert to the mix when we use the actual console, and then mix out goes fully normaled straight into DAW 17 and 18, so we could take whatever's on the mix and route it back into a DAW and record it as a 2-track. There's my presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I am done with that. Do we have any questions? I'm going to show this real quick, see what this looks like. Oh, yeah, look. Got solo there. So, do we have any questions, comments, or concerns from anybody involved? Looks like Leo's the only one here with me. So, Leo, you got any questions? What I'm going to do, too, man, is since I'm doing this today, I'm going to go ahead and bump up the post-production month. On the 29th, which is next Monday, I'm going to do an introduction to post-production month, just kind of explaining what we're going to do for the month of May, talking about post-production. Now, post-production is one of those things that you might not have thought of as an income stream for your studio or for your audio business or what you do as freelance audio engineers. You may not think about these things, but there's just a ton of stuff that you could do, and we went over this last week on the podcast. But in post-production, man, you've got sound effects, you've got dialogue editing, you've got dialogue recording, you've got sound effects recording. You can create sound effects libraries as you're recording sound effects for a post-production project. You could save them and as a library, and you could possibly sell or rent the library later on. This is just more income streams that we're talking about. But for the month of May, we're going to talk about all the stuff that we do here we're primarily a music studio, but these are some things that we can do as a studio because we have access to it in post-production world. There's video games. There's sound effects for video games. There's dialogue for video games. There's music for video games. There's film and television. There's documentaries, docuseries. The list goes on of things that you could do in your studio. I'm going to explain and share with you some of the things that we do. Voiceover for animations, voiceover for video games, voiceover for documentaries. That's just, man, you put up a mic. That's what we do, right? We record stuff with a microphone. That's what we do. Automated dialogue replacement is a little bit different. That's the actor having to replace the actual words that they said in the original filming of the thing. There might have been some noise or something, or they used a different scene, or maybe they changed the script and the actor has to say a different word than they actually said. This is called automated dialogue replacement, or ADR. And there's a certain way that this gets done, and I'm going to explain that next month. Okay, so the whole month of May, post-production. So we're going to learn about post-production and how that works and how we can use that as income streams. What'd you learn today then? What'd you learn today there, Leo? Was it something about the patch bays or something about me personally, or that man, yeah, look, I'm not a tech god. I mean, I understand signal flow. I understand signal flow, and you guys too can understand signal flow. I just threw it in the chat. Okay. This is a link that you can go to. It's a free course all about this stuff. All about the signal flow, all about patch bays and consoles and how the signal goes from point A to point B to point C. If you have not yet seen or taken this course, it's free. Why are you holding off, man? It's just free. Just go do it. It might take you a couple hours to get through the content, but you're going to learn stuff, you know? So there's that. But, what else? The link for Trace Audio. Let me throw that in the chat too. I'm throwing it in the chat because this is going to be a replay. Okay. But yeah, Trace Audio. Oh, we're also live on Twitch today. Hi, Twitch. If anybody out there is watching us on Twitch. Facebook, Meta, and Facebook and Instagram decided to not allow us to stream live to our groups anymore. Well, let me rephrase that. We can, but it's difficult and cumbersome, and we got to jump through all these backdoor hoops to be able to do it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to try. This is just a test to see if I could train you guys that used to watch on Facebook to go over to Twitch and watch it live on Twitch if you want, or just come to YouTube like me, you know, watching live stuff on YouTube. It's more fun. But yeah, Leo says he's learned about full and half normal. When you guys are ready to build your own patch bay, I mean, hit me up. I love this stuff. I mean, I absolutely enjoy this. I can help you think about what you need in your patch bay map. And I've got this template for the patch bay map, which is actually in Numbers. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it over to Sheets so that I can do it in there and I can just share with everybody. You know what I mean? I can share with everybody. This is Numbers is limited to an Apple product, a Mac. So I'm going to put this in sheets and be able to share with everybody. So this is just a template that you guys can use for yours. And you only really need one, and then you can just duplicate it, and then make your own. You change the colors. It's basic. It's pretty basic, and you could just change the colors, whatever. And then you could use that to translate to Trace Audio, okay? Which the Trace Audio link I've already thrown into the chat there, I think. No, I didn't, did I? Let me throw it in there. Okay, so there's the Trace Audio link in the chat. You click, go click it. I'm not an affiliate. I don't even I did tag them in an Instagram post I did, and they actually liked it, so that was kind of cool. The guy's name is Ben Sabin. He's the owner. And super cool guy, man. I had a question, and I emailed him, and I literally got an answer back in 15 minutes. He's like sitting there waiting for my email, but that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just the company, that company is awesome, man. They're just a couple of guys that just came up with an idea, which I wish I would have thought of it, but it's fine. They got it, and it's one of the best products I've seen in a minute for what I do, and I got excited when I saw it. I was like, oh my goodness, I get to do this, and it looks beautiful. Again, here's that picture in case you guys missed it. It looks beautiful. I mean, it really does look great, and just having that visual, man, in your studio is so much cooler because your clients are going to notice. The people helping you pay your rent are going to notice, and that's what matters, man. That's what matters most. That's what matters a lot. So I tell you what, man, if you guys, like I said, if you ever check out the Signal Flow course, and that will help you understand how we do what we do and why we do what we do when it comes to patch bays and Signal Flow. And then if you are, if you're going to be building your own patch bay, let me know. Reach out to me. Here's my email. Reach out to me here at info@learnprorecording.com. I'm more than happy to help you work on your patch bay map. We have free coach. I have free coaching. See, more links. More links I'm throwing in the chat for you. I've got a free coaching call, man. If you guys want to use that free coaching call to have me come in and help you design your patch bay, we're going to spend an hour together on Zoom, just me and you, and I'm going to help you do whatever it is you need to do. I'm here to help you. I'm here to hook you up. So if you want me to come in and help you design your patch bay in your studio, hit me up. There's the link. So also, what was it? What was that thing? Oh, this is the link to the course in case anybody's not watching the chat. Or if you're not, I don't know if the chat shows up on Twitch. I don't know. Anyway, here it is. learnprorecording.com/basics. All lowercase. Basics. That will get you the free course about Signal Flow. All right. So that's pretty simple. That's pretty much it. Leo, the one person watching me today, do you have any more questions? Because I try to limit these to 30 minutes. I don't want to take up your whole day. I mean, I know personally, I got a lot to do today, but nothing I can't spend some time hanging out with y'all for a minute. But Leo, you got any more questions? You good? So hopefully Leo's out there working and killing it and growing and building and becoming a household name in our community. And I know he's going to do great things, man. I've seen him work. So there's that. Quite proud of you, bro. You're showing up and you're showing how to do it. So that's what it is. I was actually talking to a guy yesterday about you, and he was impressed with what he's seen of your work. So there you go. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. We are gonna see you Monday on the podcast. I will see you Wednesday on the blog post. I never know what the blog post is gonna be about. I usually come up with it on Tuesday night. Whatever. Then we'll see you, of course, next week, Thursday live. I don't know. These are kind of following along with what we're doing in the podcast. So if you guys have any ideas for stuff you want to see on the live, let me know. Maybe I can show a mix or show how I use an EQ on a kick drum or whatever, man. We can always do that. Whatever it is y'all want to use, whatever it is you want to show live, that's cool. All right. Just let me know. And so next Monday we're going to start the post-production Wednesday blog post, Thursday live. I think I covered it. I think we're good. I want you guys to go finish up the week. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you Monday. My name is Donnie Baker, and I am out of here. Peace. I got an outro. Watch this. See, I'm growing too. I'm learning how to do live stuff. We'll see you guys next week.